Welcome along to another edition of Loose Pool, our last one before the Party Poker Mosconi Cup. And it's Thanksgiving, and Emily's getting into the spirit with the turkey there. And Joey, happy Thanksgiving. You're the only American on the call. And
happy Thanksgiving.
We're all here inside the bubble now. Well, three of us are anyway. Myself, Karl and Joey Gray. We've all tested today. We'll get the results tomorrow. And Emily, you've not tested just yet. You're staying outside the bubble for the time being just to oversee the build of this arena because it's going to be so different this year. But it's so exciting, isn't it, Emily, just to be here. It's Mosconi Cup week. We're on site. I'm certainly pumped for it. Are you?
Well, I mean, I tested again anyway today, just my own anxiety levels, but I'll go through testing another time. But I'm sitting here in I'm in Team Europe's room. You can have a little sneak preview behind me. Got the Rasson table already set up. A nice little feature of the darts board, a proper darts board set up there for the team, just to obviously it's going to be a long time that everyone's in this bubble here. So we're trying to make it as accommodating as possible, especially backstage here. But our main arena starts tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So we're going to start building that. It's obviously going to look very different. We're here in national lockdown here in the UK that finishes on December the 2nd. We thought we were going to be able to get some fans in for the last 2 days of the Mosconi Cup. We were sort of hoping. But obviously there's lots of people watching from like the USA who may not understand it, but we're in different tiers here, the different places, and where we are in Coventry, we're actually unable to have spectators from the 3rd of December onwards. So we're totally behind closed doors for the event, which is fine because we've got it under control. We're going to push as much as possible to get fans engaged, selfies on the screen and things like that. So as the build starts up tomorrow, we're going to be trying to share as much info as possible. But yeah, I'm super excited. I just want to get on with it now and get the teams in. Anxiety levels are literally up here waiting for Team Europe and Team USA's results coming in whilst you're all isolating as such, so probably won't sleep tonight. But yeah, one day closer.
And Joey, how's it feel to be here? It's Thanksgiving, but it's also your first time in England. How's it feel to be here?
It's kind of surreal. I mean, really, the flight and the travel. I mean, everything. I was really, really exhausted earlier, and then I kind of got acclimated a little bit. I took a nap and had a little workout in the room, and then kind of getting my head together. But I haven't traveled overseas since I was 17, so it's definitely a long flight. But and I mean, especially like Emily was saying, the anxiety levels of just everything. You start worrying about little things that you don't even need to be worrying about. So you have to really try to breathe and just focus on what's the task at hand. And I mean, it's nice. I'm really excited to be here. Obviously, I wish that I could go out and see everything. Because I mean, first time in England, it's pretty incredible. But not many people have this opportunity to be able to travel, and especially this time of year, with everything going on. I feel blessed. It's awesome to be here.
Karl, we're in isolation now. You don't need your face mask.
It's a PayPal the full week. I want to make sure I pass this test tomorrow, pal.
You've had the test now.
He's not going for it. He's not taking no chances.
You look like an idiot.
It's my face mask. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
You look like one of those Blue Man Group.
Can you pull it up a bit higher? Perfect.
Just cover the whole thing. Go. Yeah, just get it all covered
up. Joey, I've got to ask you, for anyone watching who doesn't quite know what's happening, we're in isolation now. We've had our test. We're waiting for our results. So we're in our hotel rooms on our own until that point. And just before we did this call, we had dinner delivered. Joey, I know you've just eaten yours. And on the WhatsApp, there was a bit of some HP sauce was delivered with it. And Corey wasn't impressed. Did you give it a go, Joey?
Oh, it was delicious. I was about to lick the plate. I'm not going to lie. It was delicious.
I
was really impressed. I was extremely impressed.
What is HP sauce like? What would you compare it to in the US?
I don't know, like almost like a salsa, but not necessarily.
What?
It had like a little bit of a kick to it. I mean, I don't know, like it was kind of like a tomato sauce. I mean, I mean, that's what it tasted like. I ate it so fast, it was good. So I don't know. I guess I didn't really taste it.
COVID's got you bad, pal.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
I think you just had tomato ketchup.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the HP.
It reminded me. Brown.
Are you talking about the stuff that came in the little
No.
jar?
Oh,
okay.
The blue sachet.
I was trying to find one, but I don't have one.
Mess with that. Okay, so yeah, no, we were on a different page.
Yeah. It reminded me, Emily, do you remember a couple of years ago, so 2018 Mosconi, the players didn't stay in a hotel, they stayed in apartments. And do you remember the night when USA found Naked Attraction on the TV?
Oh, God.
Joey, if you've not seen this show, it's Channel 4, I think it's tomorrow night.
I feel bad
Oh, wow.
because they didn't find it. Basically, Abigail and I set them up in their apartments ready. And so we went and checked all the apartments to make sure they were cool. And both of them were next door to each other. And so obviously we saw that they had like a living room and stuff like that. And then basically one night, I think I was like sitting in my hotel room and I saw it come on. And I was like, on the USA group chat, I was like, guys, put Channel 4 on. It's like hilarious. And they were all just like, what the fuck is this? Like, and they all thought I was.
They told me a little bit
crazy.
about it. I don't know the whole gist of it, but they told me a little bit.
Basically,
for anyone who doesn't know the show, no, let's be a bit respectful here. But as an overview, it's Naked Attraction. They basically have like these different individuals, and they're naked, obviously behind it, and then the screens come up, and you go to each level, and it basically you boot people off as to which section of the body. So it's quite a funny show.
Wow.
So what is it on tomorrow, Nick?
I think it'll be on tomorrow night. We'll try and get the Americans watching it again. If you're in America, if you're outside of England and you've not seen it, just have a look on YouTube, Naked Attraction. Karl, is it the sort of thing you'd go on?
Oh, all day long, especially with the I can't say what I was going to say, actually.
Well, look, we are going into the bubble. As Emily, you showed there as the darts board. I think we've got some ping pong in. And Karl, I clocked on your Instagram post there, you've brought a karaoke machine.
Yes.
I brought
Oh, my God.
No, just 1 second. It's like a karaoke machine for like 7-year-old girls. It's not an all singing and all dancing one. However,
Whoa. We literally
However-
have 2 teams of 7-year-old girls here. So
I'm not going to argue with that. I won't argue with that.
Yeah, so anyway, we can have a small sing-song, but I have brought my darts. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, we're going to do a team darts night one night, Europe versus USA. And Karl, I think you've got a bit of an advantage there, haven't you?
To be honest, I did have, but I haven't played for the last 2 months. I played on the first lockdown, but I've not played. But ever the so natural, talented type of guy I am, I'll soon pick it up.
Well, we will see. Let's get into a little bit of chat about the Mosconi Cup. And first thing, just because we've not spoken to you both since the news broke, obviously really disappointing for Justin Berger and Joey. That again, for anybody watching who doesn't know how it's working this year, everybody before they leave their home country has to have a COVID-19 test. They get another one when they arrive in the UK, but Joey, unfortunately for Justin, he tested positive in America at the start of this week, so wasn't able to travel. Corey Jewell has come in as the replacement, so very experienced replacement. But yeah, just your reaction to the news, Joey, for Justin, because it was a real blow.
Well, I mean, with everything going on and all the players testing and just the scare of everything and not knowing, I mean, not everything being out of your control, that was enough anxiety. And then finding out that, you know, I mean, Justin was number 1 on the points list in the U.S. I mean, obviously he had a great year last year, and he's really trending to do great things. And to not have him on the team was, I mean, it was really, my heart sank, especially not having the other players' results yet and not knowing what the hell to do. You know, I mean, it was really, I was freaking out, you know, because it was like, man, I mean, all this work that we've put in throughout the year, working with the guys, I mean, all the conversations me and Jeremy have had about pairings and everything, just to, you know, come down to one test and unlucky, basically. You know, it really sucks. But, I mean, we worked with Corey quite a bit earlier this year. We've had a lot of conversations with him. So, I mean, he's about as good of a replacement as you could ever ask for Justin. I know it's difficult, but, I mean, you know, Justin, I'm sure he'll bounce back from this and get stronger. But having Corey here it's not necessarily. I don't think it's a loss at all as far as a player. I think it's just disappointing for Justin, really.
And Karl, for Team Europe, obviously you guys haven't actually been together at all this year. So tomorrow, if it all being well and everybody gets their negative results, you can finally get together on the practice table as a team. You must be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, there's been a lot going on leading up to this point, but I've not actually relaxed yet, because until you get your test result tomorrow, it's like sort of, you can't really do anything, can you? Obviously, Justin's missed out. That's, really unfortunate for him. Obviously, such a great player. So, it's a big blow for USA. But Corey won the cup last time it was, on the European soil. So, he knows what's going on. So it's not made too much of a difference to Team USA. But who knows? Maybe tomorrow, maybe we'll all be positive, and you and Emily will have to get your cues out or something.
Well, let's hope not. It's always that nervous time. Let's have a chat about the event, because the build-up has almost become like an event in itself, hasn't it? And last year, Karl, you were in the middle for face-off when it was Johan and Marcus. This year, it's Alex and Jeremy for the face-off. Karl, how do you see that one going? Are we going to see some early blows dealt in that?
I don't know. And last year, obviously, it's the first time we did face off, and I weren't expecting it to go the way it did between Johan and Marcus. So who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll see tables getting flipped and all sorts.
Joey, do you think Jeremy might have a bit of an edge there because he saw how well Johan did in last year's face-off, so he can come a bit prepared for it? Do you think he might have Alex's number?
I mean, Jeremy's a pretty sharp guy, and he definitely, he's a good talker, and he knows and he's passionate as well. So, I think hopefully his emotions don't take him over, but I mean, you never know. They might just agree to put the gloves on. I mean, we.
Well, we certainly hope so. Emily, I'll be in the middle of that one. There's only the two captains. On Monday, you've got the press conference with 7 guys from both teams. I think that one, the way it's going with the build-up, that one could go off. What do you reckon?
Oh, I'm so excited to write the questions for it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to show as well, both of the teams, what I'm asking the other team as well, to try and get a little bit of a buzz out of it. But I've seen a little bit from JJ, like JJ's such a nice guy, and he's so well respected in the pool world. Everyone loves him. But I've seen a little side to him where he's like, I want a bloody win. And he's like, not like, and obviously Joey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen it as well. And you see this feisty side to him that I absolutely love, because that's also why he's going to be so good at this captaincy role. Obviously, we haven't seen too much of him in this build-up because of COVID. But I'm really interested to see, what happens if it is, if USA are 4 points behind on day one, for instance, and how JJ is going to react to that in the practice rooms backstage. I can't wait to go in and have a little look, to be honest. Press conference on Monday is going to be great. We've got this live training day on Sunday, which is something new we've introduced. We partnered up with Predator on that. Instead of doing like the warm-up match, which just seemed a little bit pointless this year because of, the players that are here and things like that. So imagine it as though it's like a live boxing workout. The boxers get in the ring, show their skills. What we're going to be doing for Sunday is you're going to have Team Europe and Team USA coming onto the table and just showing how they're in stroke, showing what Joey's bringing to the table, showing what Jeremy's bringing, showing what Cole's going to be bringing, probably nothing, showing what Alex is bringing to the team. And it's just going to be an hour dedicated to each team for the fans to be like, Fedor seems to be playing a little bit, sort of thing. So I thought it's a real good thing to sort of start off with. We lead up from the training day into the press conference. Can't wait to see some fireworks for that one. I'm going to be trying to prod everyone. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I seem a little bit brutal. It's because I'm trying to get a reaction. But we want to see this shit, don't we? It's exciting at the end of the day.
Karl, what are you going to bring?
I'm going to pass Jason his break cue, and then when he clears up, I'm going to rack the balls on, pass him his break cue again.
like a good vice captain. But Karl, you were on the other side of the build-up last week. It's become such a big thing now the Mosconi Cup sort of the week before. Is it something as captain and vice captain you guys think about what's in the players' minds? The fact you've got these training sessions, you've got the press conference, you've got face-off?
I love all that. I mean, obviously, when I played, we didn't have press conference, we didn't have face-off and all this, but all these little added extras, this is, I just love it, mate. Just get me my result and just get me out there.
Do you know what I'm going to find interesting? I've seen a few things on social media, because obviously. Oh, sorry, were you disturbing one of you? Do you want to go pick up the phone?
Hold on.
Okay, come on, let's. Come
Listen,
on.
it'll be that brass. 1 second. Can you come round at 10? Cheers. Hello. Who's this? Oh, it's Jackson. Hello, how are you doing?
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever witnessed in my life.
Right?
Now, we're on a podcast, and now, for anyone listening to the audio, Karl Boys is now on the phone in his hotel room. I mean, who's even calling Karl?
I don't know, really.
Be back in 1 hour. I'm on the middle of a Zoom call. Sorry. Cheers, thanks.
So Karl's now arranging to phone them back.
Listen,
Karl, who's phoning you?
No, listen, no joke. I thought that was going to be like Laylee or someone. So I've obviously said like it's such and such a thing for a joke, and it was the receptionist. He's gone, what? Anyway,
Karl Boys, part-time comedian. On social media, I've seen a few things where obviously the Mosconi Cup is the event that everyone talks about. Everyone gets hyped up about it. Like, everyone wants to talk about it. But you've got the likes of, which I think is going to be quite interesting. You've got the likes of Johan, Marcus, all kind of watching, and like the players who obviously have been on like Team Europe before. And they're all kind of going to be giving their opinion on it. And I think it's quite, there's a lot of pressure riding on certainly like Alex Laylee and Jeremy, because obviously they're the new captains this year. It's this new roster of like team as such, with the captains and the vice captain. And I do think it's quite interesting if you're like a Marcus Shamat or a Gohan, when you're watching this event, like what's going through your head? Are you thinking, oh, I should have done that? Or are you kind of bitter towards it? I don't know. I'd love to sort of find out. So it's quite an interesting thing that no matter who's on the team, look, we could have a super strong lineup. We could have everyone could test positive, and we could have other people out there. No matter who is on this team, everyone talks about the Mosconi Cup, and it's the biggest event of the year. And we're in this global pandemic, but guess what? We're still going ahead and we're still doing it, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So I'm sorry, I'm just getting super pumped for it.
Which is great. I think we're all getting to that stage as well now. We're here. Karl, Emily makes a good point there about the previous captains watching it. I mean, if you've come in as vice captain and you've been criticising the previous captain the year before, you can't really afford to lose, can you?
Not really, no. But I think vice captain, you can get away with a loss if you're vice. Joey, we're all right.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're all right. Just blame the higher up guy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna be pointing the finger, just like.
No, listen. In all seriousness, in all seriousness, end of the day, yeah, we've got to pick the team, and there's a certain way you can pick the team, but the bottom line is, we're not potting the balls, are we? So, the guys have got to go out there and be ready for it and play their hearts out at the end of the day. So, we don't want to be losing 3 though, do we? To be fair, let's.
I do. My heart does go out to Justin Bergman, making, obviously getting those results through, and then having to call him and like turn around and say, look, like, sorry, Justin, you can't come. These were the rules set out for both of the teams before they came over. Everyone had to test as close as they could before the flight. They had to get a test within 48 hours before flying, and they had to have a negative test before coming. And so it is absolutely heartbreaking, and I just feel so devastated for Justin. But obviously this is the situation that we're in. We have to put these measures into place for the health and safety of everyone at this event, and we have to do this in order for the event to actually happen. Obviously by doing all of that testing for everyone flying, we're minimizing the risk of people testing positive tomorrow, touch wood. But we've got contingencies in place if we lose, if one person is positive as such, and you know, we've got that all into place. We've tried to think of everything possible. So fingers crossed.
So there's one other thing that starts on Friday, which is the Fans' Choice. We're launching the vote for Fans' Choice. It'll be the first match on Wednesday, the second day. Karl, Joey, that's one that's out of the captain's hands. You can't have an influence on who the fans pick. But Karl, if you could, who would you want the fans to choose? Who are you hoping they vote for?
To be honest, I think fans' picks always kind of gone. I mean, obviously, America, it's always been Shane, but I have a sneaky feeling Skylar might get the pick this year just because, you know, how well he's done the last couple of years. So I don't think it's all about Shane this year. And I think, you know, with the Europe guys, people always like to see the guy who plays dead fast, really. It's just kind of one of them things, you know, that's just the way it is. So I would expect probably Joshua or Jason, and that, you know, that's just the way it seems to go, in my opinion.
But if you were picking it yourself, who would it be?
If I was picking it myself, I would pick myself.
Stop
Please,
giving away
can
our
we please have that
contingency
happen?
No, I forgot my cue, by the way.
It's all right, we've got some spares.
Screw on tip, yeah.
I think there's a club down the road, Karl. We can get you a house cue if we need to. Joey, what about yourself? If you were choosing America's Fans' Choice, who are you putting out there?
Tyler, pick Tyler.
Yeah. It's a difficult question, to be honest. I mean, but you know, you got to look at, like Karl said, I mean, Skylar's done so well, and he's really picked up a huge fan base, and he's exciting to watch, and he's got so much heart. He'd be a hard person not to pick, but I mean, you got, you know, Captain America, Shane. I mean, people love watching him, and he's got so much confidence, and to kind of kick it off, I mean, seeing him and Josh get out there would be pretty exciting just to see it. You know, I mean, how do you not watch that? I mean, that's just, if you don't watch that, you're crazy. I mean, so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Karl, I just want to pick up on that last point, because I think it's certainly something that will probably come up at the press conference and in face-off. But last year, all the talk with Team Europe was that leaving Albin out, they picked the wrong team. Do you think USA have gone with the wrong team?
fan.
To be fair, yeah, I mean, picking Corey. No, I mean, to be fair, originally I just thought that it'd be the same team just because, you know, well, certainly Tyler anyway, just because I thought Johan picked him. Johan's obviously a genius captain. He's done, you know, so well for, you know, Europe and America. So he's seen something that, you know, others didn't at the time. So I just thought they would have picked him. But, you know, I don't know much about Joey, to be fair. Jeremy, I've done commentating with him, very knowledgeable. He knows the game. So, you know, he's seen something in Chris. So I can't really go too harsh on him because, I mean, you got to respect the decision, and, you know, he's very knowledgeable, and we're going to see. Plus, I do like a rookie in the team, to be fair.
And I mean, there's Corey as well, but it sounds like maybe you're a little bit scared because you don't want to slate it too much and then it backfires, and on Friday night you look a bit daft.
No, I'm not scared, pal. I mean, I walked in the venue today, stuck my middle finger up. Jake's put it all over social media. I'm getting slated just for having a laugh. So I'm not scared of getting slated online. I've been getting slated for the last 10 years, pal.
Yeah, we can testify for that. I remember 2013 when you beat Earl, and there'd been a bit of a come to with the two of you at the US Open, hadn't there? And yeah, I guess you were the Josh Filler of 10 years ago for the American fans.
Yeah, there's a new kid in town.
There is.
With a lot less talent.
Ooh, hello.
Shots fired.
Before we wrap it up, I know we've spoken a lot about the build-up. In the last Loose Pool podcast, I asked you for your predictions. So, slightly different question to end this one. Karl, if Europe do win the Mosconi Cup, what will be the one main reason why Europe win the Cup this year?
I think the main reason will be good team selections, putting the right guys out with the right partners at the right times, and good team bonding. And, you know, you've got to have a laugh at the end of the day. There's a lot of pressure. Obviously, I've played in it 4 times. I know what it feels like. It's not easy. And to be fair, I think it's going to be more pressure than ever, mate, because I think the crowd kind of, it can help you in a way, because in team sports, when you've got like the rest of the team sat there and the captains and just us are going to be watching, it's going to be daunting, that, as where in every other year you've got the crowd and, you know, your friends might be there, so you can look up at your friends and seek a bit of comfort in that. And so I think this year there's going to be so much pressure. I think it's going to be like worse than ever, honestly.
Don't look up at your friends when you're playing pool, Karl.
I agree with
Karl
as to what Europe need to do to win, but I also think you're a little bit delirious because I don't think you can force a team to bond. And I think that's something that's naturally come from Team USA over the past 2 years because they're actually pals. Where I'm not saying that Team Europe aren't pals, but you can see from an outside perspective, you can see where the team bond is natural. You're even in group chats, you can see the dynamic between the two teams and you can see the banter. I mean, you're saying to me, Karl, yeah, we need some banter, we need some team bond in order to win. You can't force that kind of shit. And I do think you're a little bit delirious in thinking, yeah, this is what we can do to make us win. But I don't think that's going to happen. Team USA have you on that.
Emily,
I'm just saying.
Karaoke tomorrow in the practice room. Relax, we're playing.
Well, I think that there's something that's important too. I mean, you know, you look at, I mean, throughout the year or the past years, past 10, 15 years, all these guys have known each other and been close with each other for, I mean, forever. So everybody knows each other's ins and outs and have competed with each other 1,000 times, had 1,000 conversations. So, I mean, that is different for Team Europe, but I mean, those guys are good. So, I mean, we're going to have to definitely play just as good.
All 5 of them are absolutely fantastic. They're phenomenal players, all 5 of them, but they're all such strong characters that it's hard for all of them to bond together because they're all I'm not saying Team USA are not good individually. They are, but they're different. And Team USA naturally bond better. Team Europe don't. I'm just stating facts for you, Karl. I just don't want you to live in cuckoo land.
I read the
that's
book.
all.
I read Phil Jackson's book, and you know, he talks about Michael Jordan, and I mean, I actually sent a paragraph from that book to Shane, and it's not about having 5 great players. It's about having one great player elevating the other players, and I think that's a huge aspect of team sports.
Listen, forget Phil. Emily, you worry about the arena. We'll worry about the players.
Okay, you're fucking sacked.
Good call.
Finish this. I'm off.
Positive.
Joey, while we wait for Em to come back, same question to you. Is that the reason USA will win the cup, because of that bond?
She's back.
There's the turkey.
I mean, it's got to play a huge role. I mean, you know, any kind of team sports, whenever everybody clicks and they know each other's ins and outs, whether they're best friends or not, if you just know somebody really, really, and you're really close with somebody, it makes it easy to pick the pairings. And me and Jeremy can really see who's connecting and who's vibing. So it's not going to be difficult for us to really, really pick who should play with who. I can imagine it would be really difficult to have 5 world-class players that aren't around each other very often to pick them as pairings because they're such dominant personalities, such dominant players, you know, and so it would be hard for one player to tell another player what to do when they both feel like they know what to do. So, I mean, I don't know. That's just my perspective, but
then again, Team Europe is so strong; they could just go out and totally whitewash you guys. They're just I don't know who's going to win.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Emily,
you can't predict the future. That's for sure. You can't predict the future, and I mean, if we could, then you know, I would unload one way or the other. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I mean, it's a race to 5, and it's, you know, dealing with no crowd. I mean, I've never even been to the Mosconi Cup and seen what the crowd is like, but I can imagine, just like what Karl said, I would rather have a lot of white noise, a lot of loud noise. I mean, you know, with the jukebox playing in the background like we always have in America, but like having where you can hear a pin drop in the arena and understanding the pressure of the situation. I could only imagine how daunting that's going to be for some of these guys. You know, I mean, it's either going to elevate them.
Sorry for them. I really feel for these 10 players because I think they're really going to be tested out there in this arena, and absolute credit to them because they are going to come out of this you know, different, stronger players just as a whole. Like, forget about whoever wins or loses as such. I think it's going to be a huge test for them, and that's why everyone is going to tune into the Mosconi Cup, because it's going to be different.
You've just taken my last question. Now, I want to leave the last word with you. The guys have said why their teams are going to win the Mosconi Cup, and we speak a lot about the crowd, and of course it won't be the same without one, but why is the Mosconi Cup still going to be the best one ever despite there's no crowd?
Why are Matchroom Multisport the best in the business? It's because, Karl, I swear to God, just on my, he wanted to ruin my finishing line. Look,
Blue Man Group.
the Blue Man Group. Look, day one, there can be so many little things here and there that go wrong on our side of things that we haven't thought about. Fans might not be engaged enough, but one thing that we're working on is to make sure everyone is literally sat back in the comfort of their own home, sitting at their working desk, sneakily watching the Mosconi Cup while they're meant to be working and their boss is not looking at them. Everyone's going to be watching it at home. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's going to be tuned in. The arena is going to look fucking incredible. And we're going to make sure that everyone at home is enjoying themselves and it is portrayed. You lot are all taking the mick out of me. This is ridiculous. Right, bye. I'm off for real.
Has she finished? Has she finished?
And this is just the warm-up press conference. Monday, 7 o'clock UK time, live on Facebook is going to go off.
Them shades, go on.
Come
Well,
on.
now
it's my phone that's ringing. I don't want to reception.
Listen, we'll end it on that note, guys. Thank you very much for your time. My phone's going now, so yeah, we can't wait. A full week of Mosconi Cup build-up coming before it all gets underway on Tuesday. We'll be back with more Loose Pool after the Mosconi Cup, where one of these guys will have the trophy, and well, the other one of you is probably going to be begging Emily to still be in a job.
I know, right? I hope we're not fired. Oh, there goes my phone. That's probably Emily.
Oh, hello. Hello. Breaking news.
And on that note,
You prick.
Thanks for tuning in to Loose Pool.